It all started with a video from Naughty Styles. This is a blog by Victoria Chalaya and Rico Stoll, and their report back then on the purely by solar energy powered yacht Silent 60. And my first thought was immediately, Waterworld. That crazy movie with Kevin Costner on a trimaran in a world that consisted only of water. Yeah, something like that. And from then on, I had a thought that just wouldn't let me go. A ship, yes, but completely different from the trimaran of Kevin Costner, equipped with every imaginable technology, such as air conditioning, washing machine, dryer, refrigerator, electric stove, sound system, lighting, television, internet, and much, much more. In complete independence and complete energy self-sufficiency. Wow! And should the worst conceivable disaster actually happen, which is no longer quite as unthinkable as it was before because of the Ukraine conflict, then you could get, by fishing and thanks to a seawater desalination plant on board, completely self-sufficient supply. Insane. The complete independence. What an incredibly fascinating idea. And so I searched for more. And I found the solar impact. Look at the hulls. And the Arc 1 and the Sunreef 80 Eco and the Seoul Census 82 and the Ocean Eco 90 and the Cosmopolitan 66 and the Whisper 50 and, last but not least, the Silent 80, the big sister of the Silent 60 that started it all. Yeah, that's a wide range. But what would be my criteria for such a vessel? Well, I'm not looking for a ship to rent out for paying guests. No, I want to stay, live, and work on this ship and then travel around the whole world with it. And for such transocean journeys, the ship should have a certain size for safety. And a ship like that, I can't operate by myself. I will therefore have to find two companions. Companions with skills that can be helpful for us on the journey. Yeah, and in addition, I had to realize that previously latent phobias manifest themselves more and more strongly with age. In the meantime, I have problems getting into a small cramped airplane. And the idea, therefore, to spend my future in a rather small cabin, also so still half underwater, yeah, that is not conceivable for me. And so my choice, therefore, Victoria Chalaya would say, ta-da! The Silent 83 deck closed. Because there, the owner's cabin is on top of the decks and not down in the hull. And with its 80 feet, it offers enough space for me, also for my two companions and the captain, at least until I have my own patent, and also two double cabins for 2 to 4 visitors. Because I assume I have family and friends and my companions will have family and friends. And should we later have a successful blog, and I hope so, there will also be one or the other follower who would like to accompany us a piece of our journey. And so we would have room for 8 people. But if it will be my ship, there are 2 important things I would like to change. First, there is a so-called zero position on the Silent yacht. This means that the amount of energy currently generated is identical to the amount of energy currently consumed. And it works like this. The sunlight falls on the collectors and generates electricity. which is consumed by the electrical appliances such as the refrigerator, the washing machine, or the other electrical equipment installed on board. And also, the ship sails at the same time with a speed of 6 knots. But the consumption of the energy stored in the batteries is zero, nothing. Incoming energy equals consumed energy. Of course, this also means that the more energy I can gain, the higher my consumption can be. So if I had extra energy, I could cruise at not just 6, but even 8 knots of speed maybe. And so, of course, there is a question. Why then use only solar energy and not other possibilities, such as flow energy? Because when the ship is sailing, water is flowing along the hulls all the time. Yes, and of course, what about the wind? In the coastal regions where we mostly will be, the wind will be blowing most of the time. It's called thermic. And if not, well, at the latest when the ship sails, then the wind will be there again. Yeah, this idea has probably already come to Sunreef, because they put their 80 Eco, two, in my opinion, rather oversized rotors back there on the Flybridge. Because if you now look at the roof, the bimini, then that should be a good 2 meters above the ground. But that, converted to the rotors, means that they have to be at least 6, if not more, meters high. And that's ugly. So I would much rather use vertical rotors, because if you turn the top of this rotor to the right and the bottom to the left, then this rotor would have to curl up as thin as a straw. So thin though, it could disappear in each column supporting the deck when not needed. And I find that solution much nicer than the solution with the Sunreef 80 Eco, especially since I can make my rotors disappear. That is not possible with the Sunreef 80 Eco. Well, second point. Why does Silent actually still use generators on board that run on diesel? Their name is Silent, but they're using noisy diesel generators. Other ships or suppliers, such as Aquan, but also Alba yachts or now already Sunreef, use a different technology. They work with hydrogen. Let's hear what Aquan has to say about it.
Now at Anchor, the solar panels produce extra energy going to the long-term storage. The onboard electrolyzer uses this excess solar energy to split seawater into its components and produce the green fuel hydrogen. This 100% sustainable gas is then compressed into hydrogen tanks. By doing so, the Aquan One is able to store 100 times more energy than a modern battery system. Anytime energy is needed, fuel cells aboard convert the green hydrogen back into electricity. Using this cutting-edge technology, there is no need for a noisy generator. You can cruise for weeks without refueling. No noise, no fumes, pure freedom.
But notice, for storage, the hydrogen gas has to be condensed with a compressor to 300 bar. And of course, 300 bar is no small matter. And that requires special carbon tanks for long-term storage. But this way we have the possibility, when the batteries are empty and no sun is shining, no wind is blowing, to generate the necessary energy via a generator powered by hydrogen to run our electric motors, but also to charge the battery bank simultaneously. And that would be the total energy independence. Never again having to land somewhere in the port to fill thousands of liters of stinking diesel into the tanks, and that for expensive money. All the energy that the ship and its crew need is then generated by the ship itself, either from the sun, from the wind, or from the water of the sea in which the ship is currently sailing. Fascinating. Hi, dear viewer, what do you think about this? Diesel or hydrogen? Which would you choose? Please remember, hydrogen is highly explosive. Just a drop of oxygen present everywhere in the air, and the ship would disappear in a big blowout. Nah, what do you think? Write in the comments. I'm very curious to hear your opinion. So, a silent 83 deck closed. But then, please also in the new loft version. This is already visually very nice to see. In the loft version, the tween deck is a good 35 centimeters higher. And then we also have the floor-to-ceiling windows. And for a better view at the sea, a cutout in the railing. But then please, also as desired with the extendable vertical rotors. And also with the appropriate technology for hydrogen production and the necessary carbon tanks for storage. Well, and if I don't need the rotors, I can retract them. But something is still missing. Although it's already a tree deck, I definitely want to have a flybridge here. Because there won't be a more beautiful place in the whole world when we are slowly cruising along the most picturesque beaches and gorgeous coasts up there, high above the water, high on the ship, enjoying this view of a fantastic nature with a bright sun and a light breeze. La pura vida expresses its best. Well, that was a silent 80 from the outside, as I imagine it. Now let's take a look at it from the inside, starting at the bottom with the lower deck. This is what it looks like in the original. But I would not want to have a tender garage though, and I would not need crew accommodations here in the forward area either. Also, I would like to have a direct front exit, that is access from the salon directly to the bow. But that means I can't have any superstructure there, and therefore I won't have any headroom. So, what do we have to change? No tender garage. I would set up there a workshop, fully equipped with all the necessary tools so that we will be able to carry out every conceivable repair on board ourselves, should an emergency arise en route. I would also like to use this space for a garage. For 2 land vehicles, I would like to have an electric quad and an electric bike, a cross bike on board. But maybe I'll have to give up the electric quad, because I have found a thing that excites me even more. It's crazy, isn't it? I could use these quad skis for expeditions on land, but I could just as easily use it for insane fun on the water. Yeah, but also that means I would have to store fuel cans on board. A lot of them, I think, or even a separate tank for it maybe. Electric quad skis are unfortunately not yet in sight. What is now more important for me? My total independence or these insane quad skis? But anyway, I will need an openable side door so that we can bring these vehicles ashore. Okay, and I said I want to have a front exit in the front step. That means we no longer have any headroom there. The result? We would have to do it without the cabin and the bathroom. The sitting corner and the laundry can also no longer remain there. Instead of this small red room, I would like to set up a storage room for flags, sea charts, life vests, or something similar. And instead of the crew cabin there at starboard, I would like to install a fridge room, like in restaurants, since we will have quite a lot of perishable food on board, like fruit and vegetables, so these food stay fresh even on long journeys. The front exit has taken away our absolute headroom, but underneath we still have a ceiling height of 1.2 meters. And so we can now set up the laundry underneath the front exit, washing machine and dryer, and additionally also accommodate a real big freezer. Yeah, and in the room above, we would have enough space to install the hydrogen equipment there. And now that we no longer have a captain's cabin in the foredeck, I would put the captain here aft to starboard. And the other 4 cabins now have room for my companions and for our guests if necessary. So, that was my lower deck. Now we go up to the main deck and let's see which effect the front exit will have there. Again, this is the original from the internet, but I have said I want to have a passage from the salon to the bow. And that means the superstructure inside and outside the salon has to disappear. At the end, the forecastle looks like this. We still have the superstructure at starboard, but now only a sitting area at the port side. But now, I also have the desired front exit. Yeah, and another thing I like to change is here at the rear. We will spend a long time on board on our sailing trip. And so we are going to need a bit of equipment. For physical exercises? Yeah, but of course also for a bit of fun and entertainment. As there are. The Flybridge is a surfboard with an electric drive system that allows us to fly over the water at speeds up to 40 kilometers per hour. Very fast, but totally quiet. A seabob is an ideal choice for a variety of water adventures, such as snorkeling or freediving. To move easily on the surface or underwater makes it something unique. Also some diving equipment for repairs under the vessel, but also for exciting joint diving excursions. In order to refill the oxygen tanks after diving, we naturally need a suitable compressor on board. And for all those who like it a little bit more peaceful, 1 or 2 of these stand-up paddleboards. And if we already have a compressor on board, we could also use some of these inflatable items, so for a bit of fun and action. But what is very important to me is this new Nemo submarine. This is the smallest and lightest dive boat currently on the market. With 2 people, I can dive with this boat up to 100 meters deep. The films, videos, and photos we can make there, that would be almost priceless. Yeah, so I would like to have that too. My big problem though, where do we leave it all? Silent doesn't actually have a dedicated space for that. And that's why I would love to have an openable rear garage for our water toys. This garage can be folded open. This opens on the one hand a nice big beach club at the stern, but at the same time a large storage room. Everything from diving equipment, sea pops, flight boards, stand-up paddleboards, a compressor and all these inflatable things can be stored there. In addition, there is also a transformer platform in the hatch. As could be seen, this platform is extendable and then also adjustable in height. And if we have to dock in the harbor with a stern at the landing stage, then we also have to overcome the height difference between the beach club and the dock. And instead of a passerelle, we would now have a transformer platform and can flexibly adjust it to the height of the wharf edge. I also have to say that entering the ship via such a wide and stable platform is much more comfortable and safer than via a narrow passerelle. But the platform can also be extended almost vertically upwards. Then we would have a great jump tower. Or lower it down, even below the water surface. And again I have to say that returning on board out of the water via this wide platform is much more comfortable and easier than via the usual metal ladders. Okay, let's go back to the main deck. So I have planned here at stern this folding out garage including the transformer platform. Especially important to me also something here at portside. Such bars for paying gas will not exist on my ship. Here I would put much more important a toilet, a dayhead. If we spend a lot of time there in the water, and we will be, and have to go to the toilet quickly, then it cannot be that we, wet as we are, have to run through the whole ship before we can reach a toilet. So I definitely need a toilet back here in the cockpit. Yeah, and this little sitting area here on the starboard side is enough for 3 or maximum 5 persons. But if there are 8 or more of us, then this table should be able to be folded out, and with the chairs positioned here at the large bench seat, we would now have a sufficiently large table for 10 people. Okay, and here in the front area, that's where I would put the kite sail system. And with such a kite, an additional propulsion of a good 5 knots can be generated for the ship. Great thing. But now we should take a closer look to the salon. Here again, good to see a large amount of seatings. This is probably intended for charter guests, so they have as large a selection as possible where they can stay. But I don't have charter guests, so we don't need all the seating either. And the galley, I would like to move that forward to the bow, because now we have the most active areas during the day, the kitchen and the helm station, together, and both of them also right at the front exit. I said I would like to use the loft version, so that means the open sides. Here, at the rear area, we could now position the seating. However, instead of this rigid solution from Silent Yacht, I would rather have a seating combination there. These are all individual pieces of furniture, 70 by 70 centimeters, made of rattan, so very light. These can be firmly connected to each other by a plug-in system, but they can also be separated from each other just as easily. So they offer many combination possibilities for eating and working, or for lying down and perhaps also for sleeping. Okay, we won't need a TV in the kitchen or even at the helm station. And I don't want to have a TV at all in the salon. What I would like to have is a cinema system, and I would place it here with a sitting area. That would be a laser TV with a diagonal of 100, maybe even 120 inches. However, the screen is correspondingly large and must therefore be folded down from the ceiling. In the last free area, here on starboard side, I would like to install a pinball machine and hang a dartboard on the wall, and so set up a game corner there. So, that's what my salon looks like. And so, back to the main deck. As I said, if we have new guests who would like to watch our travel videos, or there's a great blockbuster on the market, then we can set up a reclining area there, extend the laser TV and watch either the great movies we made with the dive boat or possibly the newest movies from Hollywood. Okay, but now when we are not watching movies, this furniture is also so light that it can be placed anywhere on board where it's needed. And so we can then quickly turn a cozy relaxing area into a dining or work corner in just 2 simple steps. And this lightweight furniture offers many more alternatives for use than this rigid system from Silent Yacht. Okay, but there's one thing I'm still missing here, and that's a house bar. I would position it here with a game corner, of course. And since we already don't have a pop-up TV, I would like to have a pop-up bar. In the front we would have a fridge with all drinks for mixing, an ice maker and maybe a wine cooler. The back part can be folded upwards and then contains the spirit and the matching glasses. Yes, this is what my main deck looks like. And with that, we go up 1 deck again and reach to the Sundeck with the owner's cabin. The original here again. And here, dear people of Silent Yacht, it practically jumps into my brain. Don't you see that? The shape of the head end immediately inspires to ask, why don't you make this bed rotatable? If I were the owner of the yacht right now, I would lie there in my bed, wake up in the morning, look over the boat to the east, just for example, to admire the sunrise. But then I could press a button, turn my bed 180 degrees, and now I could look through the glass doors to the west to see if the storm that was announced on the news yesterday was already on the horizon. Wouldn't that be great? Yes, that's only one possibility. Another one is, if I anchor somewhere in the roasted or in a bay, then it can happen that the wind shifts at night and freshens up, and then the waves no longer come over the bow, but suddenly over the side of the ship, and then the yacht starts to roll, and of course, I in the bed with it. And now I could press the button again and always align my bed so that I lie with my head in exactly in the direction of the waves. I find that solution far more pleasant than getting up into the middle of the night to having to re-rig the whole ship. Yeah, and once again, dear silent people, why don't you make the solar panels here in front extendable? When they are installed doubled there, Then you could extend a part of it at rest times. Secure it with 2 stable carbon rods, and now you would not only have a wonderful sunshade in the foredeck, the solar impact says hello, you would also have doubled your energy production in the same time. Okay, towards the rear. What we won't need again are all these sitting and lounging options. We don't have any paying tourists on board. And also, there are all these sun loungers. Yeah, but now I have to say one thing. We will not only travel with this ship in tourist areas. We want to travel the whole world. We will also be going to areas that are not 100% safe. And it happened to me. Once in Africa, we were 4 people on a trip from Morocco to Kapstadt, South Africa, with our Hanomag. And as we were not allowed to enter Nigeria, we had to take a forbidden route north of the Lake Chad. Murphy's Law. Because of gearbox damage, we had to spend a few nights in a village somewhere in the wilderness. One morning, when I woke up, there were 2 young African guys in front of my bed, pointing their Kalashnikovs at me, and I will not want to experience that again in my life. Never. It doesn't have to be pirates or such child soldiers as in Africa. In the meantime, there have also been many attacks by angry fishermen in the Caribbean Sea or in the South Seas. But when I look at this owner's cabin, I should lie there with a view towards the sea. Okay, that's great. But I will not have any idea what's going on behind my back. And I will only be protected from such unexpected attacks by a sliding glass door, which probably anyone can open with a slight jerk. No, I can't imagine it like that. That's why I would definitely want to have a stable wall here, and the entrance to the owner's cabin I would move here to starboard side. And of course, with a perfect stable door. But that also means we can't use a bathroom on this side anymore. And also at port side, I don't need a second staircase. For what? And such a small closet. I will live in this cabin. This is why this solution here is not good either. Okay, of course I need a bathroom. And I need a large closet. And in the end, this is how I envision my owner's cabin. And then I realized, why is the owner's cabin so slanted towards the bow? I'm losing a lot of space there. What if I could make this less slanted or even vertical? Then I might have room for a small balcony or not. And what could be more beautiful? Early in the morning, out of the bed, out onto the balcony, to breathe in this fresh morning sea air. I don't know if that's possible, but I think it would be a great solution. Okay, and the TV at the foot end of the bed should have a minimum size of 55 or better 65 inches, because it should also serve as a monitor. If at some point during the night I hear noises on board that don't belong there, then I can extend the pop-up monitor, select the camera setting, and now see from the many cameras on board whether there are any people on board who don't belong there. And if so, I would now have appropriate time to prepare for that. Okay, back to the Sundeck proper. Aft here, I would like to have a perfect disco lightning installation on the Sundeck, because that's where we are going to have the parties. And when we start for a long journey trip, then I would use this place here to load up our tender. And in order to get it up there, we need an appropriate crane. But of course, we also need that to be able to move our land vehicles from the side door platform to the shore. So, that would be my sun deck with my owner's cabin. That's how I imagine it. And with that, we go up one deck again and we come to the Flybridge. Yes, there is not much more to say about it. Okay, the roof can be raised. Yeah, and here, yeah, yes, here we have a lot of seatings there. Yeah, okay. This is really an area that has no particular functional. Instead, it's mainly for leisurely travel and relaxation. In the middle, we have the helm station for the captain. Behind then, a nice whirlpool. Yeah, because a few times a month to relax the tired old bones and muscles into a nice hot bath that bubbles probably. That's already a great thing. Yes, of course. And yeah, seatings we should have here for 10 to 12 people. But what I also noticed is that on most ships, those are made up so that you are supposed to sit very straight on them. But as I said, the flybridge is a place to relax and enjoy. And you want to sit comfortably, to stretch out a bit, put your feet up. Yeah, and then the legs then lie on any sharp edges, any fixtures. That's not at all possible. That's why I want to arrange my flybridge like that. Yeah, that's really all there is to say about the flybridge. So, yeah, this is now my Silent 80 3-deck closed Explorer liveaboard. Haha, yeah, just as I imagined it. Okay, what Silent tells us about their vessels? Well, Silent says they offer unlimited range. Okay, it's true, especially if we have hydrogen technology on board and run the generator on hydrogen, because then we can never run out of diesel. They have the safest propulsion system for yachts. Okay, they have no emission. Well, as I said, with hydrogen technology, that's probably correct. With diesel, that would be limited. It's all maintenance free. Okay, super. And it offers silent driving. Again, that's in quotes, because of course, water and waves make noises that can't give you noiseless driving. But quite different from the usual noisy diesel engines. These electric motors, you can't hear them. Not at all. They offer an 8-year warranty on the battery banks. Okay, but at some point, after 8 to 10 or maybe 12 years, they will probably have to be replaced. And then I would be interesting to know what that costs. They offer a 25-year warranty on the solar panels. 25 years. Great. And a lifetime warranty on the electric motors. Okay. For me, the 25-year warranty on the solar panels would probably be a lifetime warranty. Okay, great. Lifetime warranty is perfect. The ship is CEA certified. The important letter is the A. It means that the ship will continue to be seaworthy even in corresponding wind forces and in correspondingly high waves. And in the end, it means nothing else than what it says there on the far right. The ship is suitable for transocean. It's built for ocean crossings. Yeah, and that's exactly what I plan to do. Okay, This whole thing is going to cost money. I saw on the internet on Silent Yacht's website the Silent 83 deck closed currently costs 6.75 million euros. But it's not going to stop there. I have to make changes. I want to have a different owner's cabin, I want to have a front exit, and we need a workshop on board. Well, I don't expect the cost to be that high, because we are not converting an existing ship. Such changes can be included in the planning from the beginning, and the new ship is not that different from the one that was there before. But I have budgeted 200,000 euros for it. What will be expensive, of course, are these additional superstructures and installations, such as the side door portside stern for the workshop, or the hinged stern garage with the transformer platform, and of course, especially the flybridge because it is completely added to the ship. In total, I have budgeted 600,000 for this. Also, there are all these additional costs for the modifications with the vertical rotors and the corresponding installations for the hydrogen technologies, the electrolysis devices, and with the compressor and also the carbon tanks. I have planned 300,000 euro. We will need a dinghy, and the Silent Tender 400 is currently offered for 80,000 euros. And we need a lot of accessories. That means all the tools for the workshop, the electric quad, maybe the quad sheet, and an electro bike, 2 flight boards, 4 seabobs, 3 to 4 diving kits, as well as various stand-up paddle boards, and 1 or 2 inflatable boats and other things. Planned for this, 170,000 euro. All in all, that already adds up to a subtotal of 8.1 million. But even with that, unfortunately, we are not yet at the end. Because whenever possible, I would also like to have this fascinating Nemo submarine on board. That costs a good 700,000 euro with some underwater spotlight equipment. And yes, in the first time we will definitely need a captain who will drive at least some journeys for us. And since captains are not particularly cheap, I have budgeted about 200,000 euros for the first 2 years. After that, I expect to have my own pattern. And so, the whole adds up to a final total of 9 million euros. The original price, 6.75 million for the Silent 83 deck closed. For the conversions and additional wishes, I have planned a good 1.1 million. If that's not enough, then we might still have opportunities to save, maybe 50,000 from the dinghy, and again 50,000 from the accessories. Yes, and in the worst case, we might have to do it without the submarine. Then we would have a total of 1.9 million euro for the conversions. But then I hope that will really be enough. In the end, the bottom line is 9 million euro. My investment advisor will say, yeah, that's a great goal. My grandma will say, crazy boy, you are completely crazy. The politicians would say, peanuts, we want billions. And I have to say, I don't have it cash right now. Okay, 9 million is a big job. Yeah, but I love to have big jobs. Okay, dear visitor, that is how I imagine my Silent 83 deck closed Explorer liveaboard. Tell me if you like it, or if you have additional ideas, or if you want to become a companion on the trip. Ciao and see you soon for the next episode. Bye.